Welcome to a world where history, mystery, and money collide in the most fascinating way possible. Today we are stepping into the story of a coin that at first glance looks like something so ordinary that most people would never even stop to notice it. I am talking about the Liberty Lincoln 1-cent coin from the year 1974 with the Denver Mint mark, a coin that many of us have seen or even used in our daily lives without realizing the astonishing story hidden within it. Imagine a single penny that could change your life. A single coin that in its rarest and most extraordinary form has been valued in the collector's market at over $21.9 million. That is not a simple number, that is a fortune, and the story of how a small copper coin could be worth such an amount is one that every coin enthusiast, collector, and history lover needs to hear. The Lincoln Cent series began in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of the birth of President Abraham Lincoln, the man who guided the nation through the Civil War and whose legacy as a symbol of liberty and unity made him one of the most beloved leaders in American history. The design was created by Victor David Brenner, and it became the very first circulating coin in the United States to bear the portrait of a real historical figure. From that moment onward, the Lincoln cent was not only money, it was history in the palm of every American hand. By 1959, the reverse design changed from the wheat ears to the Lincoln Memorial, and this new design continued until 2008. The 1974 Lincoln cent belongs to this memorial reverse era, showing the majestic structure that honors Lincoln in Washington, D.C. On the obverse side we still see Lincoln's sharp profile, a reminder of his strength and vision. The year 1974 was unique in the history of the Lincoln cent because it was a time of experimentation at the U.S. Mint. Rising copper prices in the early 1970s caused serious concern. The Mint knew that producing coins out of pure copper was becoming too expensive, so they began testing alternative metals. During this time, experimental 1-cent coins were struck in aluminum and even in bronze-coated steel. These experiments make the 1974 cent one of the most interesting in American numismatic history. While most of the aluminum cents were never released to the public and only a few are known to survive today, the very existence of these experiments made collectors turn their eyes to every 1974 cent with curiosity. Now, the Denver Mint struck billions of Lincoln cents in 1974, marked by the small letter D below the date. Most of these coins are common, circulating freely and still found in jars, drawers, and rolls of pennies today. But what sets apart an ordinary coin from a multi-million-dollar treasure is condition, rarity, and unusual minting errors. A flawless 1974 cent preserved in blazing red luster with absolutely no signs of wear, scratches, or blemishes, is already highly desirable to collectors. Grading companies assign coins numbers based on their condition, and the few examples of 1974 cents that survive in mint state 69 red, which is close to perfection, can fetch thousands of dollars. But there is another category of coins that defy all expectation, and these are the coins with extraordinary minting errors or rare experimental compositions that slipped through the cracks of the mint. Imagine a 1974 cent struck not on the usual bronze planchet but on one of the experimental aluminum planchets. Imagine a coin struck off-center, with dramatic missing parts of the design but still showing the date and mint mark. Imagine a double die obverse where the date, Liberty, or In God We Trust is clearly doubled under magnification, turning it into a collector's dream. These are not ordinary coins, they are mistakes that transform into masterpieces. Collectors chase these errors passionately, and auction houses erupt when one appears on the block. A 1974 aluminum cent, for example, is so rare and controversial that it has been the subject of legal battles between collectors and the government. The rarity and the story behind such coins fuel their value, pushing them into the millions. The market is also driven by competition. Wealthy collectors are often willing to pay any price to own a coin that nobody else has, a coin that represents the pinnacle of rarity. That is why a 1974 cent in a rare form has been valued at $21.9 million, a price that seems almost impossible for a 1-cent coin but makes perfect sense in the world of numismatics. The same phenomenon has happened with other coins, such as the 1913 Liberty nickel and the 1933 St. Gaudens double eagle, both of which sold for millions despite their original face values being just a nickel or $20. It is not the denomination that matters, it is the rarity, the story, and the desire to own something unique. Think of the historical backdrop. The 1970s were years of change in America, with social transformations, economic challenges, and political shifts. Coins from this time are pieces of that history. Every 1974 cent that survives is a witness to that era, and the rarest examples connect us even more deeply with the story of the mint experimenting with new metals. To hold such a coin is to hold not just money but a chapter of American history. Now let us walk through what makes a 1974 Liberty 1 cent so special if you are lucky enough to find one. First, check the condition. Coins with blazing red color, full luster, and no wear are worth more. Second, check for errors. Look at the date, the words Liberty and In God We Trust, and the mint mark D for signs of doubling or repunching. Check the edges and the alignment of the design for signs of off-center striking. Weigh the coin if possible. A normal bronze cent from this period should weigh around 3.1 grams, while an experimental aluminum cent weighs about 0.93 grams, a difference that can be measured with a precise scale. If you ever discover a 1974 cent that feels unusually light, it could be one of the rarest treasures in the hobby. Auction houses have documented cases where rare 1974 cents fetched extraordinary sums. Stories circulate of collectors finding unusual examples in old collections or rolls, sending them to grading services, and discovering they had stumbled upon a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. The allure of these coins is not only in their value but also in the chase, the hope that somewhere in your pocket change lies a fortune. The beauty of the Lincoln Cent series is that it connects everyday people to the possibility of discovery. Unlike rare gold coins or ancient coins locked away in museums, Lincoln Cents still circulate among us. The possibility that a priceless treasure could be hiding in a jar of pennies in someone's basement is what makes the hobby so thrilling. The 1974 Liberty 1 cent is a perfect example of this magic, a coin that proves how something so small can carry a story so large. When we say that this coin is worth a lot of money, we are not exaggerating. The market value of the rarest and most unusual 1974 cents has been estimated at $21.9 million, a number that demonstrates the extraordinary demand for history, rarity, and perfection. This is the reason collectors search tirelessly, study every detail, and dream of finding the next great treasure. So if you ever come across a 1974 Liberty Lincoln cent, do not dismiss it as just a penny. Hold it carefully, examine it closely, and remember the incredible story behind this humble coin. It might be a common piece of change, but it might also be one of the rarest and most valuable coins in the world. That is the magic of numismatics. That is the legacy of the 1974 Liberty 1 cent, a coin that reminds us that greatness often hides in the smallest places.